Hey everyone, good morning. All right, so we've got about 20 minutes to the bell, and I've gotten a couple trades so far this morning on NVCT, 3,000 in my retirement, plus another 900 in my main account, so almost $4,000 profit on it. This one, you guys had some opportunities on yesterday. As it squeezed from 4 all the way up to 1035. A couple false breakouts, but a couple halts as well. It's a recent IPO, and today's a continuation day. I got in on this green candle as it was popping up, kind of midway into that candle, and trade was small size, but I did get green. Reminder for those tuning in on YouTube, in case you didn't already know, trading is risky. Most beginner traders do lose money, so I encourage you to trade cautiously. Levels to watch on this would be back over 857 for a retest of the high of 885. And this level in here that keeps kind of tapping of 834 is interesting. A dip off of 8 would be better. Get in as close to VWAP as possible. So I'm going to watch around $8 for the next possible dip trade. It dips down but doesn't stay down for very long, so that's made it a little hard to accumulate a position right at $8. So for those tuning in to the morning show for the first time, reminder, in case you didn't already know, trading is risky. Most beginner traders do lose money, and I encourage you to trade in a simulator before you put real money on the line. My results are not typical. Stocks like NVCT can be very volatile. And in that volatility, as an active trader, I find opportunity, but you still have to approach it cautiously. Yes, Friday and Monday were planned days off for my birthday weekend, but I'm back here today. What is unplanned is that I'm working in my office because the internet is down at my house. So I'll be working here for the morning. Dip trade there at 17 for me, a starter. Next ad would be 35. Added there at 35. Now next ad is going to be 45. Let's see if we get the 5-minute breakout here. Let it squeeze up to 57, 67. And then we'll see if we can get a trade up towards $9. Watching for ads at 38 and 48 for the break over this level. So added right there, 44. We want to see this squeeze through 50, and then the breakout spot is 57. Added at 46. Next add is 47, 50. And let's see if we get a squeeze through the $0.50. Nice high volume on this green candle. Some break even at 31. I actually meant to sell half, but I went flat. That's fine. I'll put my new order at 850. Watch for dips off of 8. I have this level is 47. I added into that level and then it didn't break right away. So adjust my expectations. Trading with smaller size until this starts to open up a bit more. You'll see that the highest volume on this has been on green candles, which is good. So now we have a double top at about 46. 5-minute made a new high by 1 cent. I saw VLDR. The problem with that one is it gapped up and is sold off pretty much the entire time since the initial squeeze. So it just doesn't look that great right now. UCL leading gap at 40%, but is a little cheaper. SOPA, same story, popped up at about 4 a.m. and has now been pulling back. This stock is a continuation stock, so it's not on gap scanners, but it has been on high day momentum scanners, as you can see here. So that was a bit of a false breakout there. It went to 47, but didn't break through the critical level of the $0.50. So a little bearish, but still worth watching off of $8 for entries near the VWAP. 811 is the VWAP right now. So you can see it kind of breaking down on this candle down to a low of 810. I'm still watching for dip entries. You can see on the 10-second chart this ascending support line. I'm a little concerned about that breaking, but if we have a candle that pierces it and then comes right back up, that would be okay. Watching the tape, added there 27. You see that burst of green on the tape? So with smaller size, 1,500 shares, 2,000 shares, it's easy to get in and out on those types of candles. Just grab 5 cents here, 10 cents there, and just keep actively trading the range. Yesterday had about 43 million shares of volume, which is pretty good. About 12 minutes to the bell. You can see this yellow ascending support line that we're at right now. Pretty much right at the VWAP. I'm watching for a break of that line to buy a dip off of 8. Still in this wedge, as you can see. Orders at 810. So if I set an order, just watching this, there was a little burst of green tape. Added at 29. Next adds 35. See that burst of green that just came in? So let's look for 35.45 to see if this breaks out of this pattern here. Watching 35 and then 45 for a squeeze up to 850. The 5-minute is curling, so I'm watching this going into the open for a retest of 850 and then 875 and $9. If we can break over, I would say 38, 48. There's a bid there at 30. There's 35. There's 38. Added at 38. Next add will be 45. Adding as it squeezes higher for the break through 850, psychological resistance. And then we want to see on this a quick test of the pre-market high. Holding 3,400 shares right now. Flat at the moment. New order at 50. Ran into that resistance line and is pulling back. I'm going to watch for another dip. Reposition. We're in a wedge pattern right now. I thought it was going to break out there, but it wasn't quite ready. Watching off 8 for dips, leaving the order at 858. So this is the ascending support on the bottom. So I'm going to see if I can catch a dip in this area. Add it at 25, 26. Find the dip off the yellow support line. $1,500 share starter. Watching for ads off of 8 or ads over 835, 845. Green on the tape at 30. On these types of stocks, I always like to sell on the ask if I can. Take profit into strength. When you see a green transaction going through, you know that that green transaction is a buy order. It's buying from someone who's selling. When you see a red transaction go through on the tape, it's someone who's selling by hitting the bid. Whether it's selling or going short, of course, we don't know. But I'd always prefer to have my orders fill on the ask. So try to sell into strength. Spreads aren't too bad on this one, not compared to something like DWAC. But even still, selling the ask makes sense. Holding 128 shares right now. Waiting for the next dip to add or the breakout to add, one or the other. So watching this area for a possible dip entry. So I see shares available to borrow at the rate of 44 cents a share. So borrowing 10,000 shares would cost $4,400. So if you confirmed that borrow, you would already be in the hole almost $5,000 just on your borrow fees before you've taken a single trade. So NVCT came to my attention as a continuation stock when I asked people what was strong yesterday. And this was one of the ones on the list. So we are below this ascending support line. So now it's a resistance line. Two and a half minutes to the bell. You know, it dips down there to like 816 and then pops back up. VWAP is at 815. There's 810. Dip at 816. So trying to buy right at the volume weight average price, just 1,500 shares to start. But if that turns into a bottoming candle wick, bottoming tail, then I can add as it pops back up. My average right now is 16. I could add at 25 and 35 and 45. But let's see if it breaks back through 25 first. New orders ready at 35. Then I can add at 25, 35, and 45. There's 21, 23. High of this red candle is 24. So that confirms adding at 24, 25 makes sense. Added right there for the break of 24. See how that's a bottoming candle wick? Next add 35, 45, and let's see if we squeeze back through 850 right here going into the open. Because then we could get a little bear trap. So watch over 35 and 45. If we open between 50 and 60, we have a potential halt at the open. So watching to add at 35 now and 45 for a squeeze up and a halt at the open. Added at 35 right there. Next add is 45. Added at 45. Now let's look for an add at 55 for a squeeze up into the open. Watch here, still holding, looking to add it at 45 again. Looking for the break through 57 and 67. We've got 10 seconds to the open. Let's see if we get a halt up at the open. Watch over 47 and 48. Add it at 45 right there. I want to catch that rip at the open through 57, 67. So here's the open. Watch the squeeze. Looking for 57. Halt up is 919. Watching over 55 to add. watching. Added there at 48, 38. Now look for the red to green, squeeze through 48 and the break of the $0.50. There's 36 on the ask. 919 is the halt up. Back to flat on it. So green, but gave back 3,500 or 2,500 on that trade. We hit a high there of 61, but I didn't take my profit out and then stopped out as it came back down. So what we needed to have happen on this was the break through this 57 and a squeeze up to 65.75 for retested this level here. So we'll see if it gives us a red to green. I put my new order at the high of this candle, which is 861. Starter there at 27. Next add would be 37 and 47 to see if we do red to green back through 850. So what we look at here on these is the first candle to make a new high on the 1 minute. High on this candle is 37. So 37 is the add spot. Added at 35 there for the break at 37. And looking for the squeeze through 45, 50. Watch now for the add at 50. Red to green through 61. $25 on the ask right now. There's 27. Now I gotta cut it. So back to flat basically on the day in my retirement account, but I did make 900 in the retirement. So green day nonetheless, $1,100, $1,200. A little choppy at the open. High of this candle was 5. So another green day in the books. I think today is my 7th consecutive green day. Dip trade 29, false halt. Look for the pop back up to 35.45. This for me, watching 29 for the break, and then add is back over 50. Anytime we get a halt that looks that thin going into the level, I add. So new order will be on this one at 8.35 for the bounce. Just a starter position. Average is 29. When you have $1 a share drop like that, this for me is a bounce opportunity. We'll see how high it bounces. So we ran the morning show a little longer on YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will stream again tomorrow morning at around probably 9:15, and we'll see if we get some more opportunities. Green days are good, even if they're not big green days. Base hits are better than red. So get green, shut it down, live to trade another day. I'm going to keep watching NVCT for a bounce off the low, and I'll keep watching the high day Momo scanners to see if we get any more action. All right, thanks as always on YouTube for tuning in. For your pro students, we'll keep streaming and keep trading.